Hello, everyone. I'm Bill Borden, and I'm the Corporate Vice President of Worldwide Financial Services here at Microsoft. I'm thrilled to have you join me for this next episode of my series, The Borden Line. For those of you just tuning in, my goal for this series is to open a line of conversation with thought leaders and innovators to discuss the latest trends, hot topics, insights, and solutions across the financial services industry. Today, I want to talk about data utilization, which we all know is a critical area of focus to support AI and digital transformation. So, you'll have the opportunity to hear insights from two innovators in the financial services industry, Portuguese bank Novobanco and data and analytics technology leader Quantexa, who are working together to embrace AI in a cutting-edge way to drive major change at the bank through a unified data platform. Joining me is Seamus Murphy, Chief Operating Officer at Novobanco, and Dan Higgins, Chief Product Officer at Quantexa. Seamus, Dan, welcome to the show. Excited to have you.
Thanks, Bill. Great to be here.
Thanks, Bill. Good to be here also.
So, Seamus, Dan, it's great to have you on the show. I look forward to continuing our dialogue. We've been working for quite some time together. So since we have a global audience, let's first have each of you tell us a little bit about your organizations. Seamus, can you share more about Novobanco's mission to be a customer-first bank and how this philosophy drives your digital transformation efforts and what you're currently trying to solve for your strategy efforts?
Yeah, so we are a pure play Portuguese bank, Bill. If you look at our financials over the last 3 to 5 years, we're growing strength to strength from a franchise perspective. And I suppose what are the key ingredients of that? The number one key ingredient is we're very much customer obsessed, customer first. Everything we do is around the customer. We spend a lot of time on voice of the customer and prioritizing everything through journeys, capabilities to ensure we deliver the best experience and the seamless experience for our customer. Another key ingredient is what we call our business model, which would be traditionally known as enterprise architecture. This is fundamental to actually how we drive investment through technology, data, people, and process. So putting, again, voice of the customer first and ensuring every investment we make is putting to the needs of the customer. And the third part of the ingredients is our people. So we've fundamentally looked at our culture. We're transforming our culture. We looked at our mission and values and how we can activate our people to our mission and values and our purpose to the customer. We're going to revamp our employee value proposition. We're getting more skill-based as an organization. We've invested in our leadership and fundamentally creating what I would call an inclusive culture that lets our people thrive and grow and bring what I always truly mean the differentiation is bringing your true self to work.
No, thanks for that background, Seamus. I can hear the excitement and the focus in your voice as you talk about your goals and your strategies and your challenges. Hey, Dan, talk about your work in helping Novobanco with these goals and challenges.
Sure. Well, it's great to hear that passion from Seamus. It's one of the reasons we really enjoy our partnership with Novobanco. So Quantexa is a UK headquartered software company. We operate globally. We're deployed in over 70 countries around the world. We're a leader in decision intelligence, where we help our customers connect siloed data assets to really create a contextual data fabric to act as a foundation for better decision making. We do that through a set of capabilities and processes called entity resolution, which helps stitch together those data assets, whether that be internal or external data, structured and unstructured data. We then build knowledge graphs on top of that to uncover meaningful relationships within that data and have an advanced analytics layer that allows for the application of traditional and generative AI to really harvest growth opportunities or potential risks from that data and then make better informed, more confident decisions. And in many of those areas, that's how we're helping Novobanco create that enterprise data estate to power some of their transformation and their ambition to be a customer-centric, customer-first bank.
Hey, thanks, Dan. I should have counted how many times each of you both said customer in both your introductions. And Seamus, I know that's at the center of everything that you do. The brand proposition is customer focused, and Dan, you're certainly focused on that. But to have a customer view, right, across your organization, you got to have one view of that customer, a complete 360-degree view of that customer if you're really going to get into leveraging that data for analytics and applying those analytics to your strategy. So, Dan, you talked about that enterprise-wide data estate and the value of it, which is awesome. Seamus, talk a little bit more about how you've organized yourselves at the bank to actually get at this resolution of having a enterprise data strategy. It's been talked about a lot, but how are you actually getting it done?
But I suppose before how we're getting it done, come back again to why we're getting it done. So, we culturally have pivoted this organization into being journey-led, customer journey-led, and we translate then those journeys, what we call common capabilities. And every common capability, whether it's a KYC, whether it's onboarding, whether it's AML, whether it's digital automation, is powered by data. And we want to extend that also to AI. Now, you can power it by data in a very siloed manner and get little return, or look at a unified layer of data that's connecting our customer in a 360-degree view. So for us, was taking a step back, creating that horizontal sort of unified platform with partnering with Microsoft, and ensuring then the data is accessible and consumable for many different products and services, all relating to the customer. We also partner with Quantexa and fundamentally looking at the entity resolution. You can't have a 360-degree view customer if you can't connect your customer. So Quantexa is a big player for us to connect our customer, and as Dan said, to give the context to the customer. So you can connect all the data you want, but you need context to make it meaningful. So for us was taking a step back, ensuring that we built that platform underpinned by the capabilities of Quantexa for connecting and giving contextual to our data. And it's now powering a lot of our different use cases. We looked at financial crime first, which bled into KYC. We're looking at customer intelligence, so there's so many different opportunities. But a key point for me is it has to be common and reusable. We can't afford, to start to build up silos as we did in the past through the evolution of banking. It has to be uniform and unified.
No, it's excellent. The uniformity and unified approach has been talked about a lot. Dan, you've had a journey in this space around helping institutions and enterprises think about data, and actually led you to actually thinking about new ways and products that could actually attack this problem. So we'd love for you to talk more about Quantexa's approach and how you're solving this problem and working closely with Seamus.
Yeah, and Seamus's description there of some of the challenges to get that model right and that drive that transformation and power it through AI in the correct way is absolutely critical. The recent research has shown 80+% of AI-centric projects are failing due to insurmountable data issues, whether that's accessibility, availability, disconnects in the data. And so if you don't get that right, the hope to get better outcomes coming out the other side of the models is a fool's hope. And so I really, the approach that the bank is taking resonates with our recommendations and the way that we went about tackling this problem of creating an enterprise data estate. It's really a trusted foundation built from all of the data assets that an organization has access to, and it allows for the creation of views of data relevant to the specific business challenge that an organization is trying to tackle. The value in that really comes from higher confidence through the context that Seamus talked about, transparency to understand where that data has come from and the transformations it's undergone along the way, the efficiency gains that come from reducing the data wrangling that's often necessary to bring data together and make sense of it, and the swivel chair activity that happen when you have disconnected data, and really the ability to make better decisions and the confidence in doing that. We're using platform capabilities I talked about in the intro really to help Novobanco through entity resolution and knowledge graphs connect and contextualize their data foundation, whether that's customer records, account and transaction details, supplier information in terms of internal data, or indeed the vast external data assets that they have access to through corporate hierarchy information, directorships, watch lists, et cetera. And by building that into a trusted foundation and creating that context, you can then start to tackle the specific points of value on the value chain and those use cases that Seamus talked about as he's going through the journey of uber customer focus, whether that's to protect or serve those customers.
Yeah, and you both mentioned use cases, and that reflects back on the idea of getting the return on the investment. That's what we're hearing a lot, right? About
100%.
AI use cases, and can I see the return either in helping me with cost reduction or helping me with value creation, obviously, from the standpoint of new products and services. Seamus, talk a little bit about that. How did you work with your team to actually think about the investment thesis? And then are you seeing the returns to actually keep the momentum of your efforts going?
Yeah. So if you take us again, Bill, take a step back, the way the market is just generally. So if you look at some of the challenges at a market level, there's uncertainty around interest rates. There's the cost inflation. There's the more current sophistication of fraud and financial crime. There's more heightened response on customer. And the reason why I mention this is we purposely have doubled down on relationship on customer. So we believe if we can get the customer experience right, obviously the NPS will be reflective, but all boats rises with it. Okay. So, and again, back to the whole, our strategy linking to digital, linking to data. For us, it was a very easy business case because you can't have digital transformation if you can't connect data, and the understanding of that. So you can have the best platform in the world, you believe, from a digital perspective, but it's underpinned by data. A customer behavior, a customer need, is fundamentally the connection of data. And operational efficiency and operational process or automation of that is the connection of data that makes it more digital. So our business case was sort of written in itself once we put customer on what we did. We have a multitude of stuff happening now through from a value perspective, because we have a unified data platform and we are using Quantexa. If I take it from some of the front office stuff we're doing on the channel, we've deployed new chatbots that's deflecting a lot of the service calls coming in. We're doing more and more stuff in Gen AI around complaints management. The time to decision from our credit models, we're starting to fuse some of the data stuff and AI stuff we have in there. A big part of it is in the middle office, common capabilities around KYC, PKYC. And then we look into the back office. We have a toolkit now that helps us do more and more automation. And I used the word toolkit purposely. So it's not just about AI. There could be RPAs, there could be more Gen AI, it could be simple rule based, but the data gives us the possibility to do that. And again, back to that uniformity of data. So it gives us optionality. And if you wrap it around two things, one on customer, especially in retail, we're uber focused on hyper personalization, understanding the needs, understanding the context, being relevant to the customer, and in a timely manner. And the other thing we'd wrap it around is employee. So we're starting to see real benefits now from productivity employees using Copilot, connecting to Fabric, and using Quantexa, as the underlying platform that connects the data for us. So all of a sudden, we're starting to think things move in the right direction from a overall banking perspective when we fuse our data, our technology, AI, and people. So the investment has written itself.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. Yeah, Bill, you use an important focus on ROI, and Forrester did an independent survey on some of our customers that are using Quantexa as a foundational layer to power multiple and serve multiple use cases and business outcomes. And what they found was over a 3-year period, about a 230% ROI and an 8-month payback period from the beginning of their kind of deployments. And I think that's very much in line with the approach that Seamus and the team are taking. Get the data ready, get the data right, and then start to work down, the business outcomes and problems that you set out at the beginning as you were defining your transformation ambition. So very aligned, very aligned.
No, it's awesome to see, and it's amazing to see the pace at which you have been able to work together with our teams at Microsoft to make this happen. And so, Dan, I'm curious, right, from your perspective, building your value in your application and your tools to do this, the partnership with Microsoft, talk to me about how that sped up your ability to bring your solution to market and actually be confident working with Microsoft and Novobanco.
I mean, first, the vision that Microsoft has for Fabric and what you're doing to roll that out as a convening place for the data estate of your customers is critical, and it's very aligned to our strategy and how we think better connecting and bringing data together to create context and solve real challenging business problems is fundamental. So we had alignment on that overarching strategy to begin with. The ISV, the digital native, and the Fabric product team that we had access to was without equal. I mean, the engineering prowess, the partnership stance that they took, just every step along the journey was full engagement where it felt like we were all working towards a common outcome. And if I'm honest, a company of our size, yes, we've grown, we've gotten bigger over the years, but a company of our size to have access to that level of senior leadership stakeholders within the Microsoft organization and to unblock things very quickly, to have input into the roadmap for Fabric has been, fundamental to our success. And, as you know, at Ignite, we launched Quantexa Unify, one of the first embedded workloads on Fabric, bringing our entity resolution capabilities into Fabric. That wouldn't have been possible over the short kind of 6-month sprint that we did together without that level of engagement and partnership. It's been really rewarding, and I'm excited about where it's going to go next, Bill.
Seamus, obviously working together, pushing obviously in order to bring all parties together to make this work. Talk a little bit about the secret on your side to actually move forward at pace, get things done, fail fast, learn quickly, and move forward. Talk to a little bit about that.
But to be honest, Bill, the fail fast is important. So Dan mentioned earlier the amount of companies who have failed. But I would give them credit. At least they tried. Maybe they didn't go about it the right way, but at least they were curious, and hopefully they fail fast and learned. A big part of this is partnerships, Bill, to be fair, and I suppose partners who are aligned to your vision and to your values and what you need in overall terms. So for me, this organization has put the best foot forward. I can see clarity on when you talk about the journey and the capabilities we need, that framework, how that directs investment in tech, data, AI, and people. How we then look at partners that are aligned to our overall philosophy and strategy, and this big aspect of trust. We do have a set of principles when it comes to our business model and our architecture, and they're no different to anyone else. As we talk about, it being open, it being adaptable, being responsive to the customer, and we feel that those shared principles and shared goals with our partner ecosystem is so important to us. So again, we can only just move as fast as our partners, and we've felt over the last 6-12 months, the emphasis that Microsoft and Quantexa has put on us and partnered with us has helped us be more nimble and see better results overall when it comes to the data, the entity resolution, the network generation, and fundamentally the capabilities we can build off the top of it.
No, it's awesome to hear, and the conversation's been great, learnings. So Seamus, Dan, in closing, I want to give each of you a chance to give a little bit of final advice on learnings and thoughts you might want to share with the audience.
Yeah, well, my first one is, and I've been 30 years in banking, is genuinely relentlessly putting customer in everything you do, every decision point you have, and bringing that right across the organization. I think it's important also to have good investment in enterprise architecture capability that allows you to give you that business model that you want to sustain, that helps direct investment in common and reusable capabilities across your journey. People, invest in people, upskilling, reskilling, the pace of technology, the pace of data. People could feel they'd be left behind. I use the word inclusive purposely, that people feel part of something much bigger and are taking on the journey. I suppose 2 last points is education. There's a big part of education across the organization on, the opportunities and the threats that come with data and AI and the stuff we're doing. And the last thing I would say is select the right partners. I would say that, but it's so important. I'm a big believer of buy over build, and it's important the partner ecosystem and your partnerships are built off trust and aligned to your overall mission vision of what you're trying to achieve. So important.
No, that's terrific advice and great summary of those points. Hey, Dan, I'll let you end.
Okay. Well, I would echo everything that Seamus just said, and having a partner that's entrepreneurial and innovative as we do with Novobanco definitely unlocks a lot of potential too. So that partnership, works in multiple directions. I think maybe if I would add just a few observations, none of this I would say is earth shattering, but I think it's most important that you start with a clear understanding and articulation of business outcomes you're trying to achieve, and then let that be the guide for your data strategy. And not the other way around. What do I have access to, and what can I use it to solve? Obviously, that's going to end in some bad places. I think then going from there, it's critical that you measure outcomes and not output. So unless you really understand the impact you're having on your business, on your customers, on your employees, you can't create that virtuous feedback loop that helps you improve those decisions over time, validate and inform and enhance your data strategy as you progress. So it's critical that you measure those. And I think, and Seamus has hinted at this, really challenging yourself to apply the right tech at the right place in the value chain. Like the race to embrace AI without getting your data ready and right to start with is fraught with dangerous outcomes. And so ensuring that your output from your models is only as good as the data you put through them. So the partnership we have with Microsoft around Fabric and creating not only the convening place, but the connecting and the contextualizing space to get that data ready for AI and kind of create that trusted data estate is a fundamental first step. And then, you can have higher confidence and higher value of output from the models that you put that data through. So, aligned to a lot of what Seamus has said. And yeah, that's how I would summarize it.
No, that's awesome. A rich set of advice and commentary. So appreciate that from you both. Seamus and Dan, I want to thank you again for joining me, sharing your journeys, sharing your insights, sharing what you've learned, and all the great work that you're doing together. We look forward to seeing it take place with great, happy customers at Banco Novo. And I look forward to obviously what's ahead and continuing to work with you. So appreciate the time and effort.
Thanks for having us, Bill, and thanks for your partnership.
Oh, no, of course. Seamus, you being in Europe and Dan being with me in the East Coast, we made the time frames work out. So thanks a lot. And thanks to all of you out there for tuning in to this episode of the Borden Line. I look forward to my next conversation in the series and hope you'll come back to join me. Please keep the input coming on topics you'd like to hear about in the future. Thanks, everyone.